The Nazi salute, or Hitlergruß, was a gesture used in Nazi Germany as a sign of allegiance to Hitler and the Nazi Party. Performed by raising the right arm at a 45-degree angle with a straightened palm facing downward and fingers touching, it was typically accompanied by phrases like Heil Hitler, Heil mein Führer, or Sieg Heil. Officially adopted in 1926 but used as early as 1921, it symbolized obedience to Hitler and glorified Germany. Civilians were required to use it, while military personnel initially retained their traditional salute until after the failed assassination attempt on Hitler in July 1944. Even children were indoctrinated early, learning the Nazi salute by hanging lunch bags on their teacher's raised arm in kindergarten and starting first grade with lessons on the salute. Hitler himself used two versions of the salute. For reviewing troops or crowds, he used the stiff-armed salute. When greeting individuals, he used a modified version, bending his right arm at a 90-degree angle with his palm open and facing upward at shoulder height. The Nazi salute was also used by other fascist movements in Italy, Spain, Brazil, and beyond. However, Mussolini was the first one to use it in 1919, even before Hitler. Some assume it was inspired by the Roman or fascist salute, which was a supposed greeting from ancient Rome, but most historians say it was taken from the 1784 painting Oath of the Horatii, and that there's no historic record of a so-called Roman salute in antiquity. No known Roman work of art or statue depicts it, nor does any Roman text describe it. A similar gesture already existed in the US in 1892 with the Bellamy salute, and in 2005 the Quenelle gesture by Dieudonné appeared in France. Today, using the Nazi salute is illegal in Germany, Austria, Australia, and Slovakia, and considered hate speech in many other countries. The Tryzub organization logo represents a far-right Ukrainian paramilitary group, the all-Ukrainian organization Trident, named after Stepan Bandera. Founded in 1993 by the Congress of Ukrainian Nationalists, it promotes the nationalist ideology of Stepan Bandera, who collaborated with Nazi Germany. The logo features a red Ukrainian trident on a black and red cross, reflecting the colors and symbolism of Bandera's organization OUNB. With Dimitro Yarosh as its leader, Tryzub later formed the foundation of the right sector, which has been described as a coalition with elements of far-right nationalism, neo-fascism, and neo-Nazism. The Azov Assault Brigade Emblems. The Azov Assault Brigade, previously known as the Azov Battalion or Regiment, is a unit within Ukraine's National Guard. Over time, its emblems have included symbols tied to Nazi imagery, such as the wolf's hook and black sun, which I explained in the first part of this series. The old emblem of the Azov Battalion that featured the black sun and wolf's hook is no longer an official symbol of the battalion since 2015. The used symbol is similar to the ones that the Nazis used for some of their army divisions, but the Z is not reversed or tilted. The updated insignia introduced in 2015 retains a symbol referred to as Ideas of the Nation, which the group claims combines the letters N and I to represent a national slogan. They deny any connection to Nazism. The 3rd Assault Brigade, formed in November 2022 from Azov SSO and battalion veterans, uses a completely different emblem without any of these symbols. Criticism remains regarding the brigade's historical associations with far-right groups and its role within the larger Azov movement. Some experts raise concerns about possible far-right ambitions, while others dismiss these claims as Russian propaganda. The Kolovrat, meaning spinning wheel, features 8 swastika-like bent arms arranged in a circle which can rotate either clock or counterclockwise. While its origins remain debated, like the swastika, the Kolovrat is often associated with the sun. Slavic neo-pagans such as Rotnovers use it to represent renewal, cosmic order, and divinity without any far-right connections. Historically, the earliest known appearance of the symbol dates back to 900 to 700 BC ancient Greece, where it was commonly used in pottery design. However, in the 90s, neo-Nazi and nationalist groups, especially in Russia and Ukraine, co-opted the Kolovrat as a substitute for the hooked cross. It became a symbol of Slavic heritage and exclusionary ideologies frequently used by far-right groups like the Russian National Unity and Ukraine's ultra-nationalists. Notably, the neo-Nazi paramilitary Rusic, linked to the Wagner group, prominently displays it on their black, yellow and white flag or patches. Again, context is important when judging about this symbol. The Ancestral Heritage Emblem, the logo of the Ahnenerbe Nazi organization, featured a sword symbolizing power and the Germanic warrior spirit entwined with an Odal rune from the Elder Futag runic alphabet. This rune's name is derived from a Proto-Germanic word meaning heritage or homeland. It represented the group's focus on Aryan ancestry. Founded in 1935 by Heinrich Himmler as an SS appendage, the Ahnenerbe aimed to validate Nazi racial theories through research. Scientists in the organization sought to prove Aryan superiority and traced German ancestry to the so-called Nordic race. They conducted archaeological, anthropological and historical expeditions, most notably a 1938 mission to Tibet to investigate theories that Aryans had once dominated Asia. The racial ethnographer Hans Günther claimed that Aryans had conquered much of Asia around 2000 BC, including launching attacks on China and Japan, and argued that Buddha was of Nordic Aryan descent. They also planned expeditions to Bolivia, Iran and Iceland, but shifted focus to looting cultural heritage in conquered territories during World War II. The Nazi government used Ahnenerbe findings to justify policies, including claims of Aryan settlements in Eastern Europe to support territorial expansion. As the war ended, members destroyed records to evade war crimes trials. The Irminsul, a tree or pillar dedicated to the pagan Saxon war deity, symbolized sacred trees and groves venerated by the Germanic peoples. The name means mighty pillar, and it was likely a tree trunk or tree-like object representing the world axis. Co-opted by the Nazis in the 20th century, it became associated with the SS Ahnenerbe thanks in part to Wilhelm Teuth, an early SS member who linked it to carvings on the Externsteine, a sandstone formation in the German Teutoburg forest. Teuth claimed these 12th century carvings depicted the destruction of the Irminsul idol by Charlemagne in the 8th century during the Saxon Wars. The Irminsul appeared in Nazi art and Ahnenerbe publications as an emblem, but was far less prominent than other symbols. Certain Nazis, especially members of Heinrich Himmler's occult-focused SS, saw it as a representation of Aryan heritage. Today, the symbol sometimes surfaces in neo-Nazi circles, often as a white-on-black flag design. However, it's also used by modern pagans, so context matters to understand its meanings. The bar cross or Balkenkreuz is a straight-armed cross used as an emblem of the army, air force and navy of the Nazi Third Reich during World War II. Late in the war, its design shifted to a simpler form to make it less visible. First introduced in 1918 during World War I, it's based on the Teutonic Order's Cross, a Catholic military society involved in the Crusades. Post-World War II, the Balkenkreuz was retired and hasn't been used by Germany's modern military, but it's still used by certain white supremacist groups like Active 88 in Australia. The Iron Guard symbol, aka Saint Michael's Cross, was designed by Corneliu Codreanu, leader of the Romanian fascist group Iron Guard in the early 20th century. The anti-Semitic and fascist organization used this grid-like symbol to evoke both a cross and stylized prison bars. However, it has no connection to traditional Christian symbolism. It should symbolize martyrdom and self-sacrifice. The name reflected the members' willingness to face death while advocating for the organization. Often linked to the group's green uniforms, the symbol is less widespread than other fascist imagery, but has appeared on the logo of American neo-Nazi Matthew Heimbach's Traditionalist Worker Party and on the firearm used in the 2019 Christchurch mosque attack. The Septinary Sigil is the central symbol of the Order of Nine Angles, a neo-Nazi Satanist group and terrorist network originating in the UK in the 1960s. The sigil is a circle with interconnected lines forming angular shapes, with 7 endpoints representing their cosmology: the Tree of Weird, These points symbolize 7 celestial bodies and the group's 7-fold way ideology, including 7 hierarchical grades. The ONA glorifies Nazi Germany as embodying a satanic spirit, advocating for a neo-Nazi revolution to dismantle Western democracy, Abrahamic religions, and human rights in favor of a militaristic social order. The group is connected with terrorism and shares members with neo-Nazi factions like Atomwaffen Division, Russian Task Force Rusic, and Sonnenkrieg Division. The Bulgarian National Union flag. The Bulgarian National Union is a neo-Nazi group claiming to be the successor of the Nazi-aligned Union of Bulgarian National Legions, led by Risto Lukov during World War II. Their flag features a black epsilon with 2 vertical lines over the Bulgarian flag. This is an ancient Proto-Bulgarian symbol representing the sacred number 7 and the supreme Bulgar god Tangra, also associated with the Dulo dynasty's coat of arms. The Jera Rune is an ancient European runic symbol associated with harvest and time. Like many other rune symbols, it has been appropriated by neo-Nazi movements as a pseudo-historical marker of white or Aryan ancestry. While less common than other runes, it gained traction among white supremacist groups in 2010, such as Sweden's National Youth League and segments of the US alt-right. However, the rune is also used by non-racist modern pagan groups like Ancestral, so its interpretation depends on the context. The Old Guard Honor Chevron was a silver V-shaped chevron worn on the upper right sleeve by SS members. Authorized by Hitler in 1934, it was awarded to those who joined the SS or other Nazi organizations before January 1933. After Austria's annexation, it extended to Austrians who joined the Austrian National Socialist Workers' Party before February 1938, and later to certain former members of the Nazi security services and army under specific conditions. The Aryan Renaissance logo. The Aryan Renaissance Society, a US-based white supremacist group tied to the White Lives Matter movement, has used a logo featuring a phoenix, a lightning bolt, and a tilted Gifu rune. The Gifu rune, traditionally symbolizing gift or generosity, in this context represents racial unity and dominance, framed as a gift of Aryan heritage. The Vasakärve is an ancient Swedish symbol linked to the Gustav Vasa family coat of arms. Originally a neutral symbol, it has been appropriated by Swedish far-right extremists. The National Socialist Workers' Party adopted it in 1938, replacing the yellow hooked cross to emphasize Swedish identity. During World War II, fascist groups like Nysvenska Rörelsen and Sveriges Nationella Förbund also used the symbol. In the 90s, the National Socialist Front revived it, and it remains in use by neo-Nazi groups today. However, again, the symbol's association with extremism depends on its context. The Golden Dawn logo features a black meander on a red flag. This maze pattern is a common motif in Greek art and represents eternity or the flow of life in ancient Greece. Golden Dawn, a neo-Nazi group founded in 1985, co-opted this symbol to represent their ideology. Though they deny being neo-Nazi, the group admires dictators like Metaxas and Hitler, uses Nazi-style salutes and blood and soil slogans. The group's founder, Michael Olaikos, even declared himself Führer. The SS Werewolf Division Insignia features a stylized werewolf and the Wolfsangel symbol on a black and white shield, sometimes called the Diocletian shield. The symbol is now sometimes used by neo-Nazi groups, which often just use the werewolf by itself. Originally, Operation Werewolf was a Nazi guerrilla plan from 1944 organized by Heinrich Himmler to form resistance units operating behind Allied lines advancing through German territory. While some were legitimate paramilitary groups, much of the concept may have been exaggerated by Joseph Goebbels' propaganda efforts. Yoke and Arrows, traditionally a symbol of the Spanish monarchy, it was adopted by dictator Francisco Franco's party Falange Española. This group, led by José Antonio Primo de Rivera, fought against Republicans in the Spanish Civil War. During World War II, the symbol was featured by the División Azul, Spain's only military unit to fight alongside Nazi Germany, notably during the Siege of Leningrad. Their coat of arms combined the Yoke and Arrows with an iron cross and the Nazi swastika. Modern fascist and white supremacist groups like the Puerto Rican and Venezuelan Falange or the Ohio Active Club continue to use the Yoke and Arrows in their logos, endorsing Franco's authoritarianism and fascist tactics. The SS Galicia Emblem originated from traditional heraldry of Western Ukraine, featuring a golden lion on a blue background, flanked by 3 crowns. In 1943, a black and white version was adopted as the symbol of the Nazi-aligned 14th SS Volunteer Division Galicia, a Ukrainian unit active on the Eastern Front and in anti-partisan operations. Today, this emblem is linked to Ukrainian far-right groups and is used to express nationalist or extremist ideologies, maintaining its association with fascism and Nazism.